Good morning everyone. Nanghihingi po kami ng paumanhin sa inyo dahil kanina yung live namin na show medyo mabagal, ang daming nag-complain na paputol-putol daw at masyadong mahina yung internet connection kaya hindi sila makapanood ng maayos. So because of that, we are now going to talk about the topic again and we're going to it's going to be uploaded again so that we can, kasi if the aim of the show is to inform and to guide our seafarers, sayang naman po yung effort kung hindi din po maririnig yung mga gusto naming sabihin. So mag-start po tayo ngayon. Ang question po is, totoo bang napakaraming trainings ng mga Filipino seafarers? So simulan po natin. Papa.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat, mga kaibigan, kapuso, kapamilya, mga kapatid. Martes na naman, almusalang marinero na naman. Naimbag nga bigat kada kayo, amin dita kakabsat ko nga Ilocano. Maya paaba kay kayo, ngan keng Pampanga. Mayong buntag sa akong mga kaisuunan sa Sugbo, sa akon nga mga kasibanwa sa Iloilo, abaw, maayong aga. Hak mga kasangkayan haliti, maupay nga aga. Haamon haliti idoy kung waray kasananting, diri ganito ni Sputing. Kung may hermanos, hermanas adyan na Zamboanga, buenos dias con ustedes, habang nga maasta manghudkulaw nga sug. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh la.
Sikap.
Kalimera, bon dia, buenos dias, and magandang umaga sa lahat ng ating mga kabaro na nanonood at kahit hindi kabaro na nagbibigay sa amin ng pahalaga sa pakikinig sa aming panonood pala sa aming programa. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Kasama din po natin ang CEO ng CF Sharp Crew Management, Mr. Miguel Angel Rocha.
Good morning and magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. I'm very happy to be here this morning.
Again. So, ang discussion natin ngayon, marami kasing mga nagsasabi na sobrang dami daw ng trainings na kinakailangang gawin ng mga seafarers. And of course, pag may trainings na ganito, yung trainings, it takes away their, of course, yung may gasto sila, and it takes away time from their families na to think na limited din yung time nila na nandito sila sa lupa. Ano po yung masasabi ninyo tungkol sa mga trainings natin ngayon?
Well, as the SCCW required, sabi nila, is just a minimum requirements, so minimum training requirements. Well, ang mga kwalifikasyon na kailangan kang maganda pangangatawan mo, your competency, your knowledge doon sa field na pupuntahan mo, at of course yung edad mo, at sa higit sa lahat, yung kaalaman mo.
Kap, gusto nating ipaalam sa kanila. Noong panahon na nag-umpisa tayong magbarko, ang kailangan lang noon ay seaman's book lang. Kaya malaman mo, yung mga marino, kasi sinusukbit nila dito sa bulsa nila sa likod, yung seaman's book, o kaya dito sa likod ng pantalon. Kaya masabi mo, ay, marino yan. Kasi may seaman's book na dala-dala. Yun lang ang kailangan. Wala pang training. Sa panagkapanahon na namin, early 70s, wala pang ni-required na training. Ngunit, sa kadahilanan nga, na maraming mga maritime disaster na nangyayari, lalo na doon sa Titanic, na mahigit 1,000 ang namatay, at nasundan pa ng maraming mga trahedya, kaya noong 1978, nagkaroon ng unang Maritime Labor Convention. At yun ang tinatawag na Intergovernmental Maritime Consultative Organization International Conference on Revision of the International Regulations for Preventing Collision at Sea 1972 and the International Conference on Training and Certification of Seafarers 1978. Dito nabuo yung unang convention.
Mr. Rocha.
Well, I think it's clear that here in the Philippines, at least from the perspective of the ship owner, that developing officers in particular is a lot more difficult and cumbersome than it is in other countries. We have a lot more steps in place from a cadet to reach all the way to the highest level of master or chief engineer. And if the trainings aren't being mandated by international conventions, and they're not being mandated by the ship owners themselves in required upgrading trainings, where is it coming from?
Yeah, where is it coming from? Who is the governing body that's imposing and implementing all these trainings?
Well, sa Pilipinas, of course, it's the administration. That's always be. And the administration means Marina kasi sila yung lead agency rito eh. So, what I cannot understand, yun nga, very simple requirements, naging complicated. Let's look at the STCW. Bawat ranks doon is they have pertaining training certificates na i-comply para magkaroon ng COC. And lately, mayroon mga dinagdag doon sa nakasulat na I think it's not proper. It's not proper.
So it's not proper.
Oo, kasi whatever is not written in the requirements must not be implemented. Like yung MLC, OLC, na ito matatawag ng in-service na namin to eh. So, yun ang unang nakalagay sa table of competency. In one or more, number 1, in-service, sea experience, simulators, use of laboratories. So, meaning, kung meron kang in-service, it's more than enough. So, when you go on board the ship, di ba na-comply mo na yung MLC na yun? Sa paano, tsaka yung OLC.
Yeah. Pero sa buong mundo, no, ang pinapatupad din ng training ay naaayon sa IMO kung anong nakalagay, no, minimum requirement sa IMO STCW Convention. At yung mga required training ng mga kumpanya sa kanilang specialized vessel. Halimbawa, yung mga sumasakay sa LPG, yung mga sumasakay sa LNG, yung ibang training nila sa ibang specialized na barko, yun ang pinapakuha. Pero dito sa atin, nakalimutan ko, hindi pala tatlo. Yung pangatlo ay yung training na pinapakuha ng mga komisyoner. Yung commissioner, sila yung nangungumisyon, yung mga taga-opisina na pinapakuha ka ng mga kurso, ito kukunin mo full course, ito pakunin mo kahit hindi naman kailangan kasi may 20% sila. Meron pa parang pang-apat na kalimutan ko. Ang pang-apat naman ay inimbento ng mga inventor sa Marina.
Wow!
Inimbento ng mga inventor. Sa Marina, iba't ibang klase doon. Merong mga inventor doon. Pero merong training sa OLC. Ano ba yung OLC? Hindi ba yun ang kinuha mo sa eskwelahan?
Yes, also on board.
Yun ang kinuha mo sa eskwelahan. At pag sinabi natin na MLC, yan ang management level course. Management level course kasi iba naman. It is education, not training. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, ginagawa nilang training. At ginagawa nilang training, alam mo, yung unang gusto nila ipatupad doon, yung MLC, ay 1 taon. Mabuti na lang nilabanan ko, dinala ko sa Senado ang laban, kaya naging 1 buwan at kalahati. 1 taon sana yan. Inimbento din yan ng Marina. Kaya 4 na training po dito sa Pilipinas. Isa yung mandatory, galing sa IMO STCW Convention. Isa yung specialized training na in-house training ng mga mining agency, ng mga ship owners. Isang training para na mandatory ng mga commissioners. At pang-4, training na inimbento ng mga inventor sa Marina. Apat lahat yan.
Mr.
Kaya marami.
Well, the truth is, what happens on board is the true and last measure of someone's abilities. There is no officer who will advance in rank who cannot do the job on board the vessel. So I find it highly interesting that is going to be superseded by some requirement for training, as though being able to do the job on board the ship doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
Because also yung ginawang interpretasyon ng Marina is interpretasyon ng mga academes. But academes cannot run a ship. A medical captain or chief engineer can run a ship and owners always, prosper on them. Kasi they use their skills on doing that. Kasi, not because you're number one in the school will follow that you will be a good captain or chief engineer. It doesn't follow.
Well,
Totoo yan, marami yan,
Well,
marami
with
yan.
ano-
Maraming mga galing sa eskwelahan. Pero pagdating sa barko, nag-iiba na. Iba yung nasa workplace ka. Oh.
yung mga I'm just curious kasi 'di ba Marina is the one that's implementing, imposing all these trainings. But the people in Marina, are they qualified to implement and impose all these trainings? Do they even know what they're talking about or what they're imposing on people, on the seafarers?
Well, as I said, Marina is run by people of all walks of life. No, they are not. Because kasi in order to be, sabihin na nating academics ka or what or anything, expert or specialist, you must excel on that, in order to interpret it. Or to
You have to be
hand it
an
down
expert.
Yes.
Yes.
Not necessarily expert, your know-how.
Know-how, yeah.
Your know-how. Now, you have been there, I have practiced this. Kasi, sino ba ang mas magiging magaling na practitioner or yung mga, sabihin na nating mga PhD na, sabi ko nga, yung PhD kay kumpadre, PhD means puro hangin ang dala.
Akala ka pahingi ng datong.
Hindi ng datong.
Or parang hindi doktor.
Parang hindi doktor.
Parang hindi doktor.
We have the most complicated system
That's it.
of training,
That's true,
certification, and licensure of any country in the world. Yet, with all of this training and licensure and certification requirement, we are also one of the most highly criticized for competency
true.
and quality in the world. Maybe the people in the marina are not so much expert in the maritime industry, but have historically been expert at creating systems which can be used to extract money
Money.
from the seafarers and money from the system.
And also, what's the problem now? I understood that most of these guys in Marina came from CHED. Most of them came from CHED. And then they were later transferred to MTC. So, these people now in Marina is, armed with education. But education and training, again, I will contest with
It's
everybody on
different.
this, is totally different. Because training is skills and education is learning. So it cannot jive. You cannot put it in one. Kasi training needs, skills. That's what I know. That's what I understood.
Yes, of course.
Kasi lahat naman ng courses, di ba? Lahat ng profession, after your completion of your you will go on the job training or to train on this particular bago ka i-hire. So
Kaya-
dito hindi ang nangyayari, it's included in our yung training, in-include na rin doon sa education.
Well,
That's complicates everything.
But here's the thing, right? If you look at a cadet from another country, say Poland, Polish cadet comes out, they pass their board examination. Now they have their license,
Yes.
which is good all the way to the highest rank. Correct?
Yes, I agree with that.
Where does that cadet learn all of the skills and proficiencies to reach that level?
It must be
They
on
learn
board-
it on board
on
the
board the
ship.
ship. Not
So
in the
why is it good enough for every other country in the world to learn it on board the ship, that Filipinos must then come back and relearn it in a training capacity?
Yeah,
That's why SDCW first requirement in competency is in service. Again, I will repeat, in service.
Yeah, this is the case. To prove that you are really capable, that is the in-service that we can show. Because your knowledge is being tested in the actual field. Wala nang mas maganda. Maganda na testing. Now,
This
galing
is
ako
always
sa isang
my
barko.
contention.
Naging engineer ako doon, third engineer ako. At nagkaroon ako ng excellent record bilang third engineer doon, bilang second engineer, bilang chief engineer. Pagkatapos, pagdating ko dito sa Pilipinas, ay dito pwede. Kailangan mag-training ka sa simulator. Mag-training ka sa kailangan i-assess ka doon sa mga spare parts na binili namin sa nabutas doon sa junkyard. Kasi yan ang kailangan natin dito. Diyan ang naging mali. Kasi nandito sa IMO, STCW Convention, may nakalagay dito, assessment of evidence obtained from one or more of the following. Number one, approved in-service experience. Number 2, approved training ship experience. Approved simulator training where appropriate. Approved laboratory. Ay dito sa Pilipinas, ang gusto nila simulator at saka yung laboratory.
Yeah.
Bakit hindi yung pinaka-importante number 1 and 2 ang kukunin ninyong pinagbabasihan? Because we have proven our mettle in the actual field. Doon mismo sa barko na ipakita namin.
No offense to all of my teacher family and friends out there, but to coin a phrase, they say, "Those who can do, those who can't do, teach." And what we're doing is we're trying to teach those who are actually doing. And that makes no sense at all.
And if you get promoted, right? If a seafarer gets promoted, it means that seafarer has already proven his
Correct.
capacity, his ability to even his ship owner. So how come a desk worker somewhere here in the Philippines will tell that officer that no, you need this?
Yeah, because Marina doesn't know this thing. Hindi nila alam eh. Kasi regarding do sa in-service na number 1, can you imagine somebody told me na yung in-service, wala pa kasi tayong structured in-service. Structured approved in-service. Kaya hindi raw pwedeng
count.
So that's why Marina cannot use it as evidence of your competency. Kasi wala pa raw tayong approved, structured in-service
Evidence.
evidence.
Well, that's the thing, right? A ship owner on board can look at any of their crew and decide you deserve a promotion. You deserve to have an increase in rank based on what you're doing. But if that crew comes from the Philippines, they cannot do that. They say, okay, I'd like to promote you, but you have to go back and get some training and a new license that says that you can do what I already know you can do.
Yes. Nice. I agree with you.
I have zero experience in
Because-
doing myself.
Because your government wants it. Because that is what your government asks you to do.
Yeah, also my simple question about, Til, parang yung sining una, manok o itlog. Just simple question. If our student now completed yung CCI, completed classroom instruction, and when he was about to go on board the ship and he's on board the ship, what is he, a cadet or a student?
He is still a student.
No, but we do not like student. We want cadet. But we will not teach them on board. They will put into practice whatever they learn from the classroom instruction. That's how to be a cadet. But the problem now is we are teaching sextant and radar in the school, classroom instruction, and on board it's paperless.
Yan ang
Can you imagine the big difference on this?
Yes,
But
and then-
if I ask this, I look like crazy for asking this.
And then when they go on board, it's paperless. And then pagbalik dito, ipapatrain sila to do all the...
Oh, what to do?
Yan
Parang
nga,
regression.
mga kabaro, na nanggalaite ako sa galit. Kasi ngayon sa Marina, ang bagong assessment nila ay kailangan daw may assessment sa sextant. Ay Madre Mia, Panginoon kung buhay, wala na ngang sextant sa barko. Ngayon, babalik ka na naman, i-assess ka naman sa sextant. At paano gagawin yung assessment dito sa mga assessment center? Gagawin mo sa loob ng classroom? O akyat ka sa itaas ng building? Ilan ang pwede mong ma-assess sa isang araw? Ilang minuto ba pwede?
Pwede raw pa doon, may nabinig ako doon sa nag-comment sa'yo. Use a lamp and inside the room, use a lamp and bring it on a basin of water. And if EMSA will see that, do you think they will agree on
Then
it?
they use their...
You see how these academies, speak.
Ganon sila mag-isip. Ganon sila. Bakit mo pahihirapan na pabalikin mo sa mga gamit na nag-short pants pa noon sa Magellan, yung mga sextant na yan, samantalang walang Pilipino na opisyal ng barko na pinababa dahil hindi marunong gumamit ng sextant. Ngunit may kapitan na pinababa dahil hindi siya marunong gumamit ng ICDES. Nangyari yan.
Diyan na-expose talaga ang weakness ng ating educational and training program. Kasi in school, you already learned this sextant and radar. They already taught you the basic of the theory of this. And then, gagawin pa ulit same assessment. Di ba redundancy na yun? Napasa mo na eh. You were graded there.
No.
You passed.
Para bang may college diploma ka na. Ha? May college diploma ka na, kapitan ka na eh. O checkmate ka na, whatever. Tapos, sasabihin nila, balik ka sa kindergarten kasi kailangan talaga natin maging kindergarten tayo ulit. Diyan ako na nagkalaiti sa galit eh.
In my case, I will not, if, for example, if a practitioner is there, well, unfortunately, we have so many practitioners there sa board. But of course, I think they're influenced by outside opinion.
Yeah.
Kasi, imagine, if you are a captain, you are going to use sextant as your assessment. I'm sorry, but I think I will not grade you as Captain A or what. Because how can you assess a guy on a sextant wherein you need skills on this by using that, to tangent a lower limb of the sun or stars? You don't learn that in the book. You need skills on this. Your pulse, your everything. And this is learned by skills. You cannot teach this.
Yes.
And now they're going to use it as assessment. And how can you do that as assessment? There are so
Is that
many
a classroom?
factors. So many factors to affect. For example, the guy who is be assessed is 5-footer and I'm 6-footer, and we have one sextant with, two sextants each of one has. Pag sight mo siya, pag kuha mo siya sa pag tangent mo sa kanya, kat pareho na kayo nakapag tangent, the result will be the same. It will not the same kasi merong height of eye. Height of eye. Or what, for example, sinight mo siya, tapos bibigay mo ngayon doon sa assessor,
Yes.
umangat na uli siya. Does it mean you're fail?
Pero ang purpose lang naman nito, no, na kapag kukuha ka ng assessment using the sextant, hindi ka papasa. Hindi ka papasa. Tapos, para papasa ka, may itatayo na naman na review center. Review center para sa sextant. Kahit ito namang review center na to, ang gagawin naman, dito, hindi mo kailangan mag-review. Magbayad ka lang. Pagdating mo doon, kakamot ka lang ng ulo, ang ibig sabihin doon sa assessor na nakabayad ka na.
So basically,
Kwarta pa rin yan.
So basically, as a non-seafarer, from what I'm getting from from what you're saying, it's like whatever the ship owners say that you're good, even if the ship owner would say that you're good enough to be promoted, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't count.
Doesn't
Even
matter here
if
in the Philippines.
if the school you graduated from said that you are already a graduate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. So what counts? But then so all these trainings is really just to earn more. Where does the money go?
Na yan na nga isang bagay no na pinalagan ko way back in 1994. Merong training na maritime English. But you go over these books, yung tatlo, wala nakalagay na maritime English. There is no such animal as maritime English. Pero dito, may training daw na maritime English. Ang sinasabi dito sa IMO STCW Convention is English. And English is used as the medium of instruction in school. We do not have to learn English the way radio commentators are talking, but enough the language that we can communicate with each other.
Yes.
That is enough. That is more than enough.
Sa maritime parlance, yung maritime English is for you to communicate to another vessel when danger is coming.
That's it.
It's not because I want to talk to you like that na ano. It's being done kasi kahit na tingnan mo, kahit yung mga subjects doon are communicating with other vessels.
It's a little bit funny to be arguing and talking about the validity of such things when we already know what the answer is. It doesn't. We don't have to try to justify it because there is no justification for it, other than the fact that these additional trainings, additional certifications and licensures only hurt the seafarers because it means that they have to take time away from their work. to stop earning to be able to undergo these. It means that they have to take time away from their families to undergo these trainings. It means that they have to undergo additional expense. The ship owners lose the productivity of their seafarers because every other seafarer from other countries, they can continue to be promoted without any interruption to their sea service or their regular cycle of contract and leave, except for here in the Philippines. So, to me, let's just boil it down to what it is. These trainings are not necessary. They are simply here as a way to take advantage of the machinery of deploying seafarers.
There are trainings that are necessary, but a lot of the trainings, I guess,
The training that is necessary is the one written there
yes.
for every ranks, because they're very clear. Master, you have to take this, equivalent COP. Right, the management level. Okay, so operational level, you have to do this. Then you have COC for operational ratings. This is the only thing you need, which is very clear there. Whatever is not written there, it must be, I think, owner's responsibility. The part B, the recommendatory but not mandatory. But since the seafarer already complied with the minimum requirements and he has all the necessary documents to go on board the ship, then why stop them from doing it? There you go.
Yes. Okay, so ang oras natin ay medyo mabilis tumakbo kasing bilis ng pagtakbo ng Marina. I'm just kidding. So, hingan ko po kayo ng mensahe is bawat isa. Kap, ano po yung mensahe ninyo?
Well, again, I hope pagkatapos nitong EMSA, let's talk about this thing again, all of this thing. But this time, siguro, involved na rin dito, not only yung sinasabing stakeholders ng karamihan. Kasi ang sinasabing stakeholders, training centers, schools, marina, but the real stakeholder is the end user and the seafarers. Sana matanong sila na hindi kasama tong itong ibang service providers sa end user. Kasi itong mga stakeholders na to, they are not the real stakeholders. They are service provider to the end user, which is the real stakeholder.
Yes.
Dapat sila ang tinatanong. Kasi kami kung tatanungin, ano ba kailangan nyo sa mga SEMA namin? Wala, yung STCW requirement lang, right, Miguel?
That's right.
Yeah, nothing more, nothing less. Yun lang sana, minimum requirements.
Papa.
Kaya nga, sinasabi ko dito, sinasabi mong end user, kagaya natin ng mga marino, no? End user din tayo. Kaya nung magdebate yung Coast Guard at saka Marina tungkol kung sino ang mag-issue ng Seaman's Book, sabi ko sa kanila, teka muna. Sino ba gumagamit ng Seaman's Book? Hindi ba kami? Bakit hindi ako tatanungin ninyo? Kasi, kaya sabi ko sa kanila, halimbawa, ikaw yung amo ko, ikaw naman yung doktor ko. Pinag-uusapan ninyo kung paano ako operahan. Teka muna. Bakit hindi nyo ako tanungin kung magpa-opera ba ako, magpagkamatay ba ako? Ha? Tanungin nyo muna ako. Oh.
Mr. Rocha.
Final word.
Well, thank you for inviting me to join you here this morning. I think my big takeaway from this is that the unfortunate truth and the sadness of it all is that the world of ship owners would love to be able to source as many officers from the Philippines as they possibly can. That is the true desire. Unfortunately, it is more difficult for Filipino seafarers to advance through the ranks than it is for anybody else. And the net effect is that while Filipino seafarers continue to be in demand, the ship owners of the world are beginning to look elsewhere, and other nationalities will come and take up where we're leaving off.
Okay, as a non-seafarer, but having been in the maritime industry for quite some time, I think that kasi Almusalang Marinero, it's really to inform and guide, to let you be aware of what's happening around you. Kasi as seafarers, dapat alam nyo rin kung ano yung kailangan nyo talagang gawin, ano yung hindi nyo kailangan, ano yung mga rights nyo, ano yung mga limitations, ganyan. Kaya nandito po kami para tulungan kayo kasi hindi po, may mga comments kasi nasabi, nag-iingay po kami. Kasi gusto namin na maintindihan nyo kung ano ngayon yung sitwasyon natin. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon with all these yung sa Marina, yung it's kind of like self-sabotage Kasi ang mga seafarers natin, billions of dollars ang pinapasok dito sa Pilipinas. So when you hit that, pag nawala yung industriya natin, it will affect our country's economy. So, siguro, yung mga nagpapatraining dyan, siguro sila mismo, kailangan nyo rin mag-training sa STCW kung hindi niyo masyado maintindihan. Kailangan nyo rin siguro, dapat siguro maging requirement para maging opisyalis ng Marina, magbarko din.
Yes.
Para ma-experience man lang nila kahit for training man lang. So, next episode po, ang pag-uusapan naman natin ay naaayon ba ang pagpapatupad ng existing maritime curriculum sa ating bansa? Isa na naman po yung magandang talakayan. Sana po subaybayan niyo po kami next Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. dito lamang po sa Almusalang Marinero. Kainan na!
Ayun na na.
Kainan na.
Yeah, you have a good